Hey guys, Roxbox90 here with another card a day in the life of an EDH commander, and today we finish our EDH Elder Dragon discussion, whatever series, whatever you call it. So today we get to the best and baddest at the end, Grixis colored Nicol Bolas. So I'm going to kind of give, before we get to the card, I'm going to kind of give like a broad backstory to Nicol Bolas, very general, very broad, because he's one of the most powerful and fascinating villains and or self-proclaimed entities of the Magic universe. So Nicol Bolas kind of was, and in the last videos I mentioned that the Elder Dragons ruled the dragons of, I believe it was on Dominaria, and he was the leader. He was one of the 5 Elder God Dragons. When the big schism thing happened, I forget the name of it, and the dragons, various Elder Dragons were hunted down, I think by planeswalkers, in fact, and or went and did whatever they were going to do. Nicol Bolas' spark ignited during that whole time, and he became an Elder God Dragon Planeswalker, which basically means he's one of the most powerful beings in the universe, in the multiverse, whatever. Anyway, so he's super, super powerful, and then he went and defeated this great Leviathan, and Great Serpent, whatever it was called, and he killed that and absorbed its essence and got even more powerful, and he was this super powerful entity. Then he came during the Legends block story. He came to Dominaria, and he started playing around with Dominaria. Madara, I think, is where the story takes place. That's actually where the Kamigawa story kind of begins, because the Umezawa family from Kamigawa, their ancestor, Tetsuo, was his great opponent on Dominaria. So, and then he managed to throw Nicol Bolas out, and Nicol Bolas was hurt, and he got very upset, and then he ended up annihilating the Umezawas almost entirely. He hunted them all down, and I'm pretty sure to extinction, is what they said in the Future Sight block, in the Time Spiral block. So he was there at Madara, then he shows up again. He shows up a number of times, various times throughout Magic, sometimes as an illusionary, behind-the-scenes villain who we don't really know it's him, but he's there. In Time Spiral, he reappears because weird rift things were going on, and he wanted to find out about them. And his power as a planeswalker was starting to fail, as some of the other planeswalkers were as well, because the universe was the multiverse was collapsing on itself because of all the planeswalking. It was they were so powerful, these god beings transitioning through reality, ended up breaking various holes and fissures throughout all of the realms, and it was a big problem. Teferi ended up fixing everything with the help of many other powerful deity planeswalkers. Nicol Bolas, of course, was very selfish, and he said, okay, I will help, and then he went and essentially defeated Leshrac, this other mono-black planeswalker. He defeated him in combat. It wasn't even close, really, even though the story, they make it seem as if Leshrac had a chance, but he didn't. And then Nicol Bolas used Leshrac, forced him to give up his spark to shut down one of the rifts in time, which was his part. So he ended up getting away there, and then he went, when his power was further diminishing, he went to Shards and Alara, and he ended up in the whole Alara controversy that happened, and with Ajani ended up pushing him out, but it was too late. He already regained his power, and then he went off and he said, I'm going away, goodbye everybody. And then I don't know where he is in the story arc. As of now, 2013 is kind of strange. I don't know what's going on with that. But that's kind of a very brief, I know I missed some parts, but I think that's kind of his overarching story. So he's just super powerful, very self-centered, egotistical, doesn't like being taken advantage of or hurt by people he views as beneath him, very arrogant. And the card reflects that attitude and that mentality. So let's get to the card. He's 2 blue, 2 black, 2 red, 8 cost, like his Planeswalker, for 7/7 flying. Whenever he does damage to an opponent, that opponent discards his or her entire hand. Ignore the ability if the opponent has no hand. During the upkeep, pay the cost. Okay, so he is obviously the most aggressive and empowered of all the Elder Dragons, which befits him in his power. So he wipes out people's hands. So in EDH, where what you have in your hand is very important, and where card draw and being able to have a large usable hand with things to do is important. Stopping someone from having that, removing their hand entirely, is really crazy powerful. So Nicol Bolas, he's a monster card. He's used very often in Sign of the Ur-Dragon decks, because if Sign of the Ur-Dragon attacks and then is unblocked and does damage, then Nicol Bolas, he targets Nicol Bolas and you lose your hand. That's why he's very often put in those sort of decks. And yeah, he's just a beast card. On his own, he's still powerful. He's probably the most powerful, not in terms of commander damage, but in terms of the fact that if you can somehow get him to do damage to an opponent, you basically win the game. It's not exact, and of course if someone draws a card draw a spell off the top, then they have a chance of rebuilding their hand, but the fact that he makes their opponent lose the whole hand, very dangerous, very powerful. So he's my favorite, of course. This artwork is not great. Funny enough, I don't like the Planeswalker artwork either. The original Planeswalker artwork from the Conflux. The Planeswalker himself is obviously a very different entity. Here, I don't know if he's supposed to be the Planeswalker. I don't think he is yet. Even back then, I don't think he was the Planeswalker. So he's just an Elder God Dragon. But in the newer Planeswalker card, he's just also, he's super powerful. He's an 8-cost Planeswalker, which is the most expensive, I think. And he's just crazy powerful. My favorite art of Nicol Bolas is the Dual Decks one, actually. That's why I have one of them, because I just love that. That actually highlights his, I've transcended this regular entity, and now I'm godlike. So yeah. Anyway, guys, sorry the video is a little long, but I thought you'd want to hear something about Nicol Bolas besides for he's just Nicol Bolas, especially with 2013 coming along. Now you kind of know, after Shards, he kind of fades out a little bit. I know he was involved with the Eldrazi, with the Eldrazi block, because the Eldrazi, of course, were around. He was with Sarkhan the Mad, so he was involved with him, and he was involved with Ajani. And then post that, he was kind of out of the story for a while. I mean, in terms of the new Phyrexia and Innistrad, he's kind of not involved. So in Ravnica, I don't think we'll see him return, but in 2013 he is, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Please feel free to leave comments and thoughts below in the comment section. I'm happy to talk about Nicol Bolas for sure. Also, please check out my channel sponsors in the description. Roxabox the 90s signing out. See you guys next time.